Coming at you with my final division prediction video. I'll do my week 1 predictions after I finish work later on today. Oh man, I just woke up. I'm sorry. Yeah, you know how our division is. At any time we all can agree, whether you're Cowboys, Redskins, and Giants fan, we can either have a sweep or get swept by either or, and one team can be better than the other, and it won't matter. And we can cost each other big time, too. Also, another thing is that the Zeke gets to play, but we still have to wait and to see what if the TRO gets to him. I'll explain that a little bit later. But anyway, that's just going. Got the Redskins finishing last this year. They lost some damn good weapons with Jackson and Pierre. They all had a good rapport with Cousins. Dotson, it was a good draft pick. Speedy guy, playmaker kind of guy. They got Pryor. Pryor still developing as a wide receiver, but big and fast, so you cannot take him for granted. Or Rob Kelly, what they call him, Fat Rob or something like that. He was doing pretty good in a lot of his games. So, and they moved on from him from Jones. So, it shows that they believe in him. I think their biggest loss, came this year was Trent Murphy. He got injured reserve, but you got Kerrigan and Preston Smith still yet. But that was a big loss. And then Sewell Gather, he kind of contemplated retirement for a little while. So I think they're gonna let him just kind of like gather his thoughts and all that kind of stuff. So, but I think they're gonna still surprise a lot of people that they're gonna put enough points. I just don't know if they can close out a lot of the games. Man, Jonathan Allen was a good. To me, their two best picks was Jonathan Allen and Fabian Romero. I mean, Fabian Romero is speed. I mean, you're not gonna get past him too often. So, but they got Breland and they got Josh Norman. See what they do later on. But next, I got the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, I think they probably improved the most as far as draft picks and stuff like that. They made some good trades for Jerrigan and for some couple other guys. I cannot think of the cornerbacks' names that they traded for during the preseason. But their big pickup was Barnett, the defensive end out of Tennessee. that guy gonna be a problem for us. Wentz, we'll see how much more he's improved. They got him some weapons. They got cannot think of his name now. Alshon Jeffries, they got him. They got LeGarrette Blount. See if they can relieve some pressure off. Running the ball, release some pressure off of Wentz and all that. But what I think still yet, I think the offensive line is not gonna be able to. Is not good enough to control the game yet. Can they sustain on defense? I mean, they made some moves, but we don't know. They don't know about if it's actually gonna be there. But I think their defensive line is gonna make it easier for their secondary. Next, I got our Dallas Cowboys. I got us making the playoffs as a wild card, but I think I think we're gonna take a little bit of a step back here. 13-3 was remarkable. Hard to duplicate, though. I mean, as a Cowboys fan, it's hard. It's hard to duplicate that kind of record. And a lot of and part of it too is a lot of distractions with the suspensions and all that. I think the only one is non-deserving is Zeke. I mean, and Nolan Carroll, I think, was is under the suspicion, and that one was like, okay, when this gonna get, he wasn't arrested, but he was arrested, but it was under the, and then we don't know, maybe in October we found out about Wilson, but we lose for now David Irving, which we had a lot of hopes on. DeMontre Moore, he looked pretty good. He looked pretty good in the preseason. Just hopefully he can perform during the regular season now. And then Hitchens to me was another big loss, just because the development and just giving the overall playing time for Jalen Smith was a big thing for me. But other than that, we've seen promise we've seen it there where McFadden, Morris, Rod Smith can run behind this offensive line. We added Ryan Switzer. We got both our tight ends back, Hannah and Swain. Hannah being the better blocker. So now Witten can go back into that role of being that security blanket. Beasley looks solid. And going back to the Eagles real quick, they could easily finish second and even to win the division. I do believe that. And then any one of the top three, I think, can really go to first to third, or like that. So this is going to be a tricky one, but I do have us getting in the playoffs. Who else? Taco Charlton, can he hold down the fort until the other guys get back? Our biggest question is our secondary, because our rookies was injured, the hamstring injuries. They look promising in training camp. They, a lot of smart guys. Just gotta wait and see. I like the pickups that we did. Brian Price and Jerry Lynn. I'll just call him Jay Elliott. I like this. I like those two pickups. But and then I think Dak has looked really good during this preseason and all that. He this looks very efficient. During the training camps, though, he was kind of like taking more chances, and people was like, "Oh, how come he's getting intercepted?" Well, he's just kind of seeing what he can do in certain areas and when not to do it. Kind of like when to and when not to. But that's the thing with that. That's the thing with that. And if our running game stays solid, then it's gonna be easier for Dak. And then now that Dak, he knows. Everybody talking about this whole, we got tape on him. Well, now he's gotten tape of himself and of other teams too, what they like to do, what they would like to do against him, and he's gonna work on that. So, but I do have us finishing second, just because the uncertainty of our secondary, and I think it might cost us a little bit with the suspensions going on. Finally, got the Giants winning the division. The offensive line is still not good. But with the weapons they got, I don't know if Odell's gonna play the first game, but regardless, they have a great wide receiving core with Shepard. Shepard dodged a huge bullet as well too, with that sprain. But with Shepard, Marshall can be that 50-50 ball plus possession type receiver, while the other guys can make the big plays. Evan Ingram. He looks more like a wide receiver than than a tight end. But you get him in the middle of that field, he's gonna cause some damage. Eli, I mean, Eli's been up and down, but Eli has always been that guy. Like, just when you count him out, he pulls something out and he gets it done, and it's weird like that every time. Like, it's frustrating too. It's like, yeah, we got him. And I was like, why can't you stop Eli? And where the defense plays, they're gonna give Eli a lot of chances. Their defense is a very solid defense. You know, with Olivia Vernon and JPP. You know, and I just forget. I think it's Robinson, the guy that they drafted. But you know, and then they got the secondary. All those guys. I mean, you know, DRC, Jenkins, Landon Collins is starting to look like an elite safety for them. So, and that's how I think they're gonna really, they're gonna really grind out games in the reverse way of this defense, keeping it low scoring, and let Eli. If you give Eli enough chances, he will punish you. He will find a way and all that. You hope not to, but it just happens sometimes. All right. I think the Giants will have. I don't think they'll have home field advantage, but I think they'll have the first round bye, and then the Cowboys, in the wild card. But like I said, the Eagles is good enough. Redskins, yeah, they took a blow, but it's gonna be very tight. At one point, remember last year we had all 4 teams with winning records. I think at one point we will have that as well too. All right, I'll do my predictions video when I come home. All for watching. Paniolo Boys and Go Cowboys.